Welcome everyone, and we are getting started here with a Halloween hack/repeat monster mashup extravaganza. For anyone who's been following the channel for a while, you'll know that every year I like to do stuff with hack/repeat fighters, which are fan-made fighters that are from various horror franchises. The project was spearheaded by Cardboard Hustle and Hubaris. Cardboard Hustle being one of the two designers for Unmatched Adventures system itself and a member of Dirtle Games along with TDC Jason. And I've had a lot of fun being able to not only showcase these on previous streams and videos, but also being able to help reveal the Volume 3 fighters the year that those came out. And while busy lives and schedules may have meant that there haven't been any new hack/repeat fighters in the last couple Halloween seasons, the 10 that are out there are still a lot of fun. I have the Volume 1 and Volume 2 fighters printed. I got them professionally printed through Make playing cards, and Cardboard Hustle, Darren, sent me the health dials, minis, tokens, etc. for the Volume 1 fighters. So for the Volume 2 fighters, I'll have to use stand-ins. As we see today, Pinhead and the Cenobites are going to be represented by Medusa and her Harpies. But the Volume 1 stuff like Chucky here, we've got the components for. Because we now have a second adventure set, this is going to be a mashup of all of the components from both sets. I'm going to do 4 games of UMA, 1 against each of the villains, and I have randomized the minions that are going to be present with each, and we are doing 3 amazing events with each scenario as well, and those have also been randomized. So this is going to be a little bit of a ramp up in difficulty compared to my release videos, since we are adding some of the things like the events, which do various things such as making the minions tougher or maybe hit harder, making deception have a better value than the innate 0 that it usually has, etc. We will also be using the henchman and ally system from the TMNT box. So this is going to be a bit chaotic, but I'm very much looking forward to it, and I hope you all enjoy as well. Without further ado, let's get started with Mothman versus Pinhead and Chucky. Our 2 minions today are going to be Baxter Stockman and Wingnut. Baxter is going to put out these Mauser tokens that whenever you move over them with a fighter, you have to discard the top card of that player's deck. And then Wingnut is going to move us around, move himself around, just cause chaos with positioning, which could be very relevant because of the bridges and whatnot, of course, as well as the allies and recruiting them. So let's get started with round 1 and see who's going first. Alright, it's going to be one of the henchmen that we started with in the deck. This is the Pizza Aliens. No one is adjacent to the villains, so no one will take any damage here. Friends in odd places, so at the end of the round, as long as we are in spot 2 for the starting position, which is down here where Chucky is right now, we will get Karai as an ally. I actually like that this is showing up early because it means that neither of these minions, which both will mess with our positioning, will be able to stop us if we're on that spot, because their end of rounds will resolve after we get the ally. Baxter Stockman. Alright. So, Baxter is going to go for one of the Cenobites. Since he can go here or here, we're going to move him here. And this will let me explain one of Pinhead's main mechanics, which are the chains. So, we started with the chains in Pinhead's zone. Fighters can pass through it, just like normal doesn't impede movement, and then you move the chains after other effects are resolved. On Pinhead's ability card, it explains kind of what the chains do. So after our fighters, so either Pinhead or the Cenobites, take damage, other than the chains themselves, we can move the chains up to 2 spaces. On a player's turn, Pinhead deals 1 damage to their first fighter to share a space with the chains. So essentially, the chains are going to damage fighters. They can damage friendly fighters or enemies the first time that you share space with them on your turn. So if Pinhead takes damage on his own turn and moves the chains into someone's space, they will not immediately take damage, but if they're still on the chains when they start their turn, then they'll take damage. Pinhead also gets benefits from taking damage and whatnot in the deck, very fitting thematically. The way that we're going to do effects, just so it's clear across the board, anything that refers to a hero is going to refer to villain. Anything that refers to a sidekick will refer to minions. And anything that refers to a player will apply to both villains and sidekicks. Otherwise, some of these decks just don't really work too well, such as Pinhead. So, Pinhead's chains will be able to damage the minions and villains, and that will help us a bit as well. So, Baxter will take 1 for stepping onto the chains during his turn, and then we will have him attack one of the 2 Cenobites. Before we do that, though, let me quickly go over the amazing events that we have. The first one is they have Skin Like Stone. Enemies cannot take more than 3 combat damage when defending. This is particularly annoying when we have Deception as the top card, because it means that those big hits that you can usually rely on when Deception is the block will not be quite as impactful. We have their Strength Grows, add +1 to the value of all minion attacks, so they just hit harder. They Smell Blood. Whenever there's a tie for who the enemy attacks, it always chooses the target with the lowest health. If there's still a tie, the players choose. So normally, if you had a tie in targets, like let's say Pinhead was adjacent to Baxter right now as well, we could choose either Pinhead or one of the Cenobites to take the attack. In this case, they would always go for the fighter who has the lowest health, so in this case we would have to have one of the Cenobites be attacked. So let's have Baxter go for this Cenobite here. Since I've already used a lot of the hack/repeat fighters in the past, plus you can go on to Unmatched Maker and find the decks there. I'll leave a link in the description. I'm not going to go into detail on all the cards like I normally do when I do a release video with UMA, because we have a lot of games to get through. I want to make sure that we have a good pace. I will still bring up cards during combats and stuff, but I will not be spending a bunch of time showing off all the cards in the deck as we draw them and whatnot. I don't think that we have anything that's going to let us survive a hit, so we're just going to take this, especially because of the +1 and only 1 health on our sidekicks. Sometimes they explode. That's going to be a 4. After combat, if Baxter won the combat, each player discards the top card of their deck. So we are going to lose that Cenobite, and then we are going to be discarding Do My Bidding. Ooh, that's a rough one. And Charles Wears My Ring for the top cards of deck. And then because one of our fighters took damage, we can move the chains. I think we're going to move them here, because I got a plan for our turn. Which is now. So Pinhead is up, going to maneuver, going to move onto the chains with Pinhead, take 1 down to 15. Going to move down here with that Cenobite, here with the other. Because even though we took damage from the chains, we do not move the chains from taking damage from them. And then we are going to attack Baxter with Flayed Endlessly. Going to be a 3-value block. So 2 damage to Baxter, down to 7. And then our after combat says if one of your fighters took damage this turn, return this card to your hand instead of discarding it. So since Pinhead took a damage from the chains, we will get that back. I think we're actually going to put this Cenobite down here just because it gives us options based on the other enemies. Mothman is up. Well, I guess it's going to be Pinhead. I am going to block with Sweet Suffering, which will let us move the chains. Visage of Impending Doom, that's a little bit unfortunate. We are only going to take 1, because Mothman does not get the bonus, it's just the minions for this. However, that is still going to win, so he's going to put some Doom out. The Doom only ticks up the threat faster for the highest bridge, but if we run out of Doom, of course, it's bad news. And then we get to move the chains. We're going to move it through Mothman, so he's going to take 1 down to 19. And then I think we'll move there. Oh, and actually we took damage as well, so we get to move it 2 from that as well. So we're going to move there for the damage. We do not damage Wingnut right now because it is not his turn currently, but actually, you know, we'll just keep it in his spot, because if Chucky goes before Wingnut, we might run up there and smack him. So yeah, we'll do that. And then that'll be it for Mothman. General Trag. It's going to require one of us to discard a card. We're going to go ahead and discard Hell's Heart from Pinhead. It is kind of like a regroup. It's a 1 value versatile that draws a card after combat. However, it also has an effect if it is the... that's Chucky's discard pile. If it is the top card of your discard, you get to choose whether your fighter wins or loses combat. So that actually would have been nice if we had that on top when we just went against Mothman, because we could have been like, actually, we won, so he doesn't put a bunch of doom out. Unfortunately, it was not quite timed right for us. Alright. Player 2 is going to be Chucky. So I think we need to start clearing some doom out. Alright, so let's maneuver. Go there with Chucky, there with Tiffany, and then just maneuver again. Go here with Chucky. Gonna discard Hunt to get rid of the Doom here. And then we're actually gonna look at Wingnut's deck for the top 2. So we can either have Dive Bomb or Deception. I think we'll discard Dive Bomb, keep Deception on top. That'll be it for us. Then it is Wingnut. He is going to go for Tiffany since she and Chucky are tied and she has the lower health. He also takes 1 damage from starting on the chains. Down to 9. And then Tiffany is going to block with Pin the Prey. Because we know it's Deception, which is actually a 1 on offense because of the event. So no damage. And then we can move the fighter up to 4 spaces. Kind of want to just put him back on the chains. So I think I will. And then he discards a card, but Deception is going to make him shuffle, so it doesn't matter. Alright, we are going to recruit Karai. New ally is Ace Duck. Definitely want to get that one. Starting spot is over here, so not too difficult. Baxter is going to swap here with the highest health, which is going to be Chucky, actually. It's a bit annoying, especially because now he's going to put a Mauser on the bridge. Mothman will advance by 1. Wingnut is not adjacent because we did the Pin the Prey. Baxter. Block with Exploit. It's gonna be a 3. Mauser goes here. Draw a card for Chucky. We do have to keep in mind the swap because Baxter will do that first, but if we keep a sidekick on it, then we're good. Chucky is up. Attack Baxter. It's a 3 value block. Boost with this, deal 2 to Baxter. Down to 5. He does not get his effect. Whenever we win combat as Chucky, we get an amulet. These can be spent for various effects on our cards. Attack Baxter again. 2 more damage, and we can move him up to 2 spaces since we did 2 to him. He's down to 3. Let's move him here. Get another amulet. Wingnut. Gonna go for Tiffany again. Gonna be a 3 to a 3, so no damage. We can get rid of an amulet to deal 2, and we will. Down to 7 for Wingnut. Oh, and he took 1 from starting on the chains. Down to 6. So when I discard, Chucky will discard this Tiffany card. Pinhead takes 1 for being next to Mothman. Really not the... I would have loved these to clear each other. Mothman to take 1 for being next to Pinhead. Mothman. Block with Sweet Suffering. It's gonna be Deception. It's fine, we still get to move the chains, and we will move them onto Mothman. Mothman takes 1. And reshuffles. Pinhead. Maneuver. Discard that to use the bridge. Clear the Doom. We'll have Chucky draw until he has 4. He currently has no cards in hand, so 4 cards to draw. We got some good ones. And then we're going to have this Cenobite attack Baxter. Because it's a 50-50 that we kill him if it's Deception. Hey, let's go. Takes 3, he dies. No more Baxter. Alright, end of round. We have the Cenobite there, so we will get a stuck. These two clear each other. Mothman advances by 1. Oh, and before that would have happened, Wingnut swaps here. Makes Chucky discard one of those cards. I thought about just drawing with Pinhead to avoid this happening. Like, we'd still swap, but it wouldn't discard and deal damage to Tiffany, but I figured 3 cards was better than none, so... What do we lose? Oh, that's a rough one to lose. It's 2 damage to Tiffany. Although this is scary to use against Mothman, so there's that, I guess. Alright, and then we shuffle everything and go to the next round. New ally is Mondo Gecko. Obviously got to get him, because he is the best. Though he's way out over there. Oh, Tiffany's not. Tiffany's within a single maneuver, actually, so that's fine. She could even clear the bridge, the Trust Bridge, and then move there with the effect if we wanted her to. Mothman. Well, he takes 1. I think we're just eating this to the face. Ow. It's 5 total damage. 4 from the combat, 1 from the after combat, and then 1 gets placed here. We get to move the chains twice, since we take 2 instances of damage. I think we actually have some pretty crazy stuff we can do if we just put it on us, so let's do that. It is Pinhead, so down to 7. Let's do Taste Our Pleasures. It's going to become a 5 since we've taken damage this turn. Nice. Into Visage, which would ignore if it was a print 4 or higher, but it's not. So it's only going to be 3 damage because of the Skin Like Stone, but that's still down to 13. No Doom for Mothman. And then we're just going to attack again with our last card because we have a stuck in the deck and we can use it on Pinhead. Or if someone uses the drawbridge, but I think that's less likely since we're not doing this Pinhead. Ah, Faint. Flayed Endlessly is not going to return to our hand, but we got 2 uses out of it. Mothman takes 3 down to 10. So halfway dead on Mothman. We might actually take him out before taking out both of the minions. Might be best just because of how much this one slows down our big hits. Alright, that's that. Trag, so Chucky has to discard a card. Do the Hunt. It's a fine card, but not as good as the other stuff we have in hand. Chucky is up. Let's maneuver. Go there with him. There with Tiffany. Discard Pin the Prey to use the bridge. Look at Mothman's deck. Got a Visage and an Overwhelming Dread. Let's get rid of the Visage, keep the Dread. Because then we're going to attack Mothman with Chucky. Exploit into Dread. 2 damage. Mothman down to 8. He hops to the middle. Chucky draws a card. Get an amulet. Ace Duck, we're going to draw 3 with Pinhead. Wingnut. We'll try to keep her alive. She would have died, so it's 3 damage. Down to 2. Her during combat does not trigger. Then dive bomb. Oh. Swap these 2. Interesting. End of round, Mothman advances by 1. We do get Mondo Gecko. Then Wingnut will swap here. Make us discard a random card. Pinhead. We don't take any damage. And now we have that on top of the deck, which is nice. Could be useful. Actually, I think Wingnut has some stuff that if he wins, it does extra effects, so can't complain. New ally is Mona Lisa. That's Chucky. Don't have much going on with Chucky, so we will maneuver. However, we are going to take 1 on Tiffany since she's on the chains. Sorry, Tiff. She's still alive, though, which would not have been the case if she didn't get swapped away, because Wingnut would have discarded our only card in hand, which is Child's Play for 4 boost. That's how much damage she would have taken. Child's Play is really good, but I don't actually know if we're going to get to it soon enough, so I think I might be ditching it. We got another, now it's payback time though, so maybe that's still the discard. We'll go here. We'll discard, now it's payback time. Draw 3, so we have 4. Okay, those were some really good cards. We'll attack Mothman with Chucky. Faint, unfortunate. We could have used that big boost, but we still win, so honestly, not the worst. There's worse things you could faint. And that's that. Friends, we need to be in spot 3 for that at the end of the round, so we'll probably just have a Cenobite go there. We're definitely maneuvering at least once with Pinhead. Mothman, gonna go for Chucky. Just gonna use Sorry Jack. It's a cancel, so we take 1 from the combat, no effect. Pinhead is up. Let's maneuver. Gonna boost with Lament Configuration. And then we're gonna discard to let Chucky draw 2, I believe. Yeah, we'll let Chucky draw 2 with the bridge effect. And we're actually gonna have Pinhead go here, so Wingnut goes for Chucky, not us, because we are a little low in health. And we're gonna be doing some more to ourselves. Overwhelming Dread, so it's going to be 2 damage to Mothman down to 5, and then his after combat is going to place him in a empty starting space. Let's have him go over here close to the chains, and then our after combat deal 1 damage to both fighters in the combat. So 1 to Mothman down to 4, 1 to Pinhead down to 6. And then players who had a fighter damage this way draw a card. Mothman can't draw cards, so we'll be doing that. We got another Blood and Ecstasy. Quite good once we have the visages out of the way, since we've seen both of them. I knew attacking with a 4 was safe. Hopefully we can get 1 more of those off before that happens again. And then we do get to move the chain since we took damage. We're just going to put it on Mothman, so it's guaranteed that he takes some damage from it on his next turn. And then that will be it for us. Ace Duck, we're going to do that on Pinhead to draw 2. You got some good options there. Mondo Gecko, who wants to use that? That would have been good here. I guess we wouldn't have had to boost, but we kind of wanted to boost anyway to get the extra card. You know what? Let's keep Tiffany safe. Put her down there. Crag is going to make us discard a card. We'll just discard that for Pinhead. Also keep someone under 3 cards in case Ace Duck goes early next round. Also Mondo Gecko, the MVP, taking out this annoying discard guy. Then Wingnut is going to going for Chucky. I think we're just going to take it, honestly. Supersonic, it's going to be 3 damage to us, down to 11. He's going to go to there, and then we're going to get placed there. End of round, we do have there, advance by 1. These two ditch each other. Then Wingnut is going to swap. We can choose which one he swaps with. It's going to be Chucky, I guess. Which means top card goes into the discard because of the Mauser token. Ouch. Take 4 down to 7. And we lose a pretty good card. Still got some other good stuff going. New ally. Luckman and Joe Eyeball. All the way up here again. Alright, well. And I kind of just want to kill Mothman this round. He's got 4 health left. He's going to take 1 from the chains. So I think we can take him down. We'd really like to go before him, with Chucky in particular. Because Chucky can hit him real hard. Basically guarantees a 3 damage hit, which is the max we can do because of Skin Like Stone. That is Pinhead, not Chucky, but that's fine. Pinhead still has some good stuff to do. Let's maneuver. Let's boost with Do My Bidding. 5. Let's at least head that general direction, so we have a fighter to take on these numbers over here for allies. Again, I don't think it's going to matter. Well, in case it does, we'll do that to do the drawbridge. We will have Pinhead draw 3 since he's at 1 card right now. Then we'll attack Mothman with Blood and Ecstasy. Okay, so that's going to be 1 from the combat. Down to 3. We're going to take 1 from Unimaginable Terror, which is also going to put a doom here. Then our after combat is going to deal 1 to each fighter, so we go down to 4 on Pinhead, down to 2 on Mothman, and then draw a card. If we had another attack, we would have a really good follow-up since we know the next thing is Deception. But we know the next thing is Deception, so hey, let's go Chucky. Alright, maneuver. We will boost with Hunt. 4. We will play Give Me the Power, because why not? Discard 2 amulets, draw 2 cards, gain an action, and we get +2 on our next attack. And then we are going to play Get Off My Knife against what we know is Deception. And Mothman goes down. Yeah, I knew with the Skin Like Stone, going for both minions was probably not viable. We definitely could have done it. We still have a lot of time, honestly, and even though we were getting a little low on health, we could have started healing with the bridge over here. So we probably could have taken out all the minions if we wanted, but I saw the line to kill Mothman himself, and so, hey, why not take it? And honestly, this is one of the nastier events, so getting it with these two wasn't too bad because these weren't as strong. I mean, obviously this one is solid for the minions, but with only 2 minions, it wasn't as impactful as it might be on a 4-player game. But yeah, so that was Chucky and Pinhead versus Mothman, and we are going to be going on to the next game in just a moment. Alright, we are getting ready to start game 2 here. It's going to be against the Martian Invader with Leatherhead and Skunkape. The amazing events are they strike from the shadows, which is when you shuffle an enemy's deck, put its Deception card on the bottom of the deck. That is going to include the initial shuffle at the start here, so no freebies. They move like the wind. All minions have a move value of 5. And then Unexpected Eclipse at the start of each round, advance the threat marker 1 space. This one seems particularly nasty since Martian Invader's threat tracker is lower by default, but also it's a little bit unpredictable where you can't always stop it advancing by more than 1 space like you can with Mothman. just because you don't know when the invasion cards are going to show up. Alright, we got Ace Duck as our first ally, which we definitely want to get. So we might be keeping one of the Ghostface up there. The two heroes that we got are Ghostface. Ghostface is a dual hero that gets to move 2 spaces, divided as we choose among the 2 characters the first time they lose combat each turn. That's whether it's on their turn or an opponent turn. And then we got Dr. Herbert West from the Reanimator and his sidekick Dr. Dan Kane. Dr. Herbert West is all about being able to mess with sidekicks, move extra spaces with sidekicks at the start of a turn, which is very nice. And then, because we are counting minions as sidekicks, there will be a lot of effects in Dr. West's deck that are quite good. He can also revive defeated fighters as sidekicks, so if we can take a minion out, maybe we can bring them over to our side. They don't have their same abilities, of course, but they are just extra bodies for us, and any of our cards that key off of our own sidekicks or our ability allow us to utilize them quite well. Of course, we can always revive Dan if he goes down as well. Let's get started. Before we do that, we gotta advance one for the Eclipse. And Leatherhead is gonna be first. Well, we're gonna send him over here, and we'll just have him attack Dr. West. We'll block with Wasn't Quite Fresh Enough. And it's gonna be the cancel, so we do not get to move any damage over to Dan, but we're not taking any damage since it's 3-3, so it doesn't matter. We are not ignored since our print value is not 4 or higher. That'll be it for Leatherhead. Invasion 1. Just gonna put a dude on the field up here. That's fine because we're still right by it with Ghostface. We want to be here for Ace Duck anyway. Gonna deal damage to a sidekick, so we're gonna take 1 on Dan since he is the only sidekick we control. Dr. West. We can do something pretty funny here. You know what? Let's do it. Dan, use the gun. Shoot that crocodile. Oh my goodness. Alright, so we do 1 damage to Leatherhead. He did not win, so he does not increase the threat marker 1 space. And we did attack a sidekick and win the combat, so goodbye, Leatherhead. Defeated. Now, that might feel a little bit, strong. And it was, don't get me wrong. But, to be fair, the other cancel would have stopped us. We know the deception's on the bottom, so it couldn't be that. And hey, there's only 1 of those. We got a little bit lucky with starting that in our opening hand. Alright, well, I'll take that. Dr. Dan, the crocodile slayer over here. Or is he an alligator? That's a good question, actually. He might be an alligator. I don't know the TMNT lore, so let me know if Leatherhead is a crocodile or an alligator. I have a feeling it's actually alligator, based on some of his card names and stuff. Alright, and then I guess we'll maneuver, since we don't have anything else to do. So we'll put Dan up there, put Dr. West there. Alright. Skunk Ape. Which Ghostface do we want him to go for? I'm gonna go up here, I guess. And we'll block with Be Right Back. Back into the brush. It's gonna be 2 damage. Ghostface with the black base is gonna be this dial. And then Skunk Ape will not get another turn. We draw a card with Ghostface. And then while this is the top card of our discard pile, we get +2 to the value of our cards. So that'll be nice. Friends and Odd Places, Ghostface. I think we want to maneuver so we can get rid of that alien there. Go there with that guy. We'll keep the one here so we can get the ally. And then with the Ghostface that moved, we are going to Jump Scare, which is going to be an 8 into Skunk Ape. Bestial Bite, so it's going to be 6 damage. Down to 4. I'll take it. Martian Invasion Wave 2. I do think we want to discard to stop that because we won't have a way to clear it this turn. So we'll discard this rule number 2 scheme because that scheme in particular, as far as Ghostface ongoing schemes work, is never going to trigger really. Unless we count cards in deck being cards in hand, which I guess technically kind of how it works. Because whenever you do discard a card, it's always the top card of their deck. So I guess that could trigger against like the villain, since the Martian has more than 7 cards. But the discarding 2 random cards would just discard the top 2 cards from the deck, which, to be fair, does get us closer to deception, but ultimately I think it's not worth it. Alright, Martian Invader gonna go there. Let's block with another Be Right Back. It's going to be 3 damage. Down to 7. We get to draw a card, and then Martian will warp. I think up here is fine. We do get to move if we want. I think we will actually move there for losing the combat. Do 1 damage to a hero. Let's just do it to Dr. West since he hasn't taken any yet. Alright, and then Leatherhead is dead. Skunk Ape deals 1 to this Ghostface. We do get Ace Duck. New ally is Genghis Frog. And then that will be, and then advance by 1. And reshuffle. Pretty good first round. I mean, a lot of that was because of Dan's gun doing effectively 10 damage. But hey, I'll take the wins where I can get them. Ghostface. We will play Rule 4, Sequels are Bloodier. Draw a card, leave us in play until triggered. If an opposing fighter takes 2 or more damage in combat, deal 2 additional damage to them. Seems good. And then we will get the blood pumping, attack Martian with the bottom Ghostface. Gonna be Freeze Ray. So 5 to 2, so 3 damage. Since we have the Be Right Back buffing our attack. Down to 17. And then Sequels Are Bloodier is going to trigger 2 more damage. This will put an alien here. And then we can move both of the fighters up to the amount of boost value here, which is 3. I think we kind of want to stay here though, because I have something that wants us both adjacent. Also, we recover 1 health on each Ghostface because of the effect on our attack card. Alright, yeah, that's it for us because we played this game first. Dan has taken 1. Dr. West is up. Let's maneuver. Oh, I guess we gotta move Dan first because of our ability. Forgot to do that last time, but we were already in the spot we wanted to be in. I guess I'll move here for Dan. And then we'll, off that maneuver, boost with this. Yeah, we'll boost with Piercing Shot. 5. Get rid of that. And we're just gonna maneuver again. This card got you like a fish to stop that from spawning. We're still gonna get 1 later, but it's fine. Martian is gonna go for this Ghostface, and we're gonna block with right behind you. It's gonna be 2 damage. Nope, that's the wrong one. So this guy is taken 2. And then our after combat will deal 2 back, down to 13. Then Martian's gonna run away like the coward he is. It's gonna spawn a dude. Skunk Ape, I was hoping that Ace Duck would come out first so we could draw cards with Ghostface, but I also moved Dan next to here for a reason, so we'll have Dan get attacked, and because he's got scary sidekick stuff, we will block with that. Okay, back into the brush, that's fine. We take 1, he does not get another turn, both because we canceled it, but also he wanted to have lost anyway. And then Friends in Odd Places. There's Ace Duck. We're gonna draw 2. Ghostface, because he's at 1 at the moment. And then, well, we can take the 1 on Dr. West, but unfortunately, that is going to be Ace Duck getting removed. It's a shame. Alright, and then advance by 2, which is bad timing here because Skunk Ape now does 4. We could have Dan take it and die, but I don't think we want to do that. Take 4 on that Ghostface, and then these 2 remove each other. Oh, and we get the Genghis Frog, which is still a little useful since Skunk Ape's still on the board. Ooh, neutrinos. We definitely want those guys. We are going to advance and flip over an invasion token once Eclipse triggers at the start of the round, but that's fine. We're making good progress. So start a round, that will trigger. Ghostface, okay. Let's attack Skunk Ape. Bestial Bite, so we do 1. Down to 3. We discard the top card of his deck. Boost of 2. So we get to move both of us up to 2. Which there's a way to like get both of our guys adjacent to him, but there really isn't. That's fine, the Ghostface here is the one that's more hurt anyway, so we'll go 1, 2, 1, 2, and then recover 1 on the Ghostface there with the black base. There's only 1 card left in Skunk Ape's deck, so we know it is Deception, so I guess we're smacking him again with a 3. That will take him out. Skunk Ape down, and then we're just gonna choose 3 and randomly give back 1. Let's do Jump Scare right behind you. You know what, I like Be Right Back. Jump Scare, I'll take it. And then no ability because we won, and that is it for Ghostface. Martian Invader. Guess we'll block with that. It is a 3 to a 3, so we did not lose unfortunately, so we will not get the ability, although we don't have to discard Jump Scare, so that's fine. And then after combat, 1 damage to everyone in Martian Invader's zone, which is actually just that Ghostface right now. Alright. 1 damage to a sidekick. Dan goes down to 1, but he's still holding on. Well, never mind. Dan is dead. But he did good work while he was alive. And then also this Ghostface takes 1. But we don't add another 1, so I guess that's something. If only we had literally gone right before, we would have saved Dan's life, but it is what it is. Let's maneuver with Dr. West. I think it's just going to be a double maneuver to clear that field. I'll boost with Killer of the Dead. Clear this guy and get the neutrinos, of course. And then we've got a card to discard to the invasion wave, which is happening now. And we'll get rid of Death, it's just the beginning. It's a fine card, but it's only really good if the Martian has a 4 on top of the discard, which it doesn't currently. Skunk Ape is dead. And then Genghis Frog is not going to be useful here, but maybe if he lines up against the henchman in the future, though, to be fair, this doesn't do anything at the moment, though it will once Herbert West revives a sidekick, if we find that scheme. Alright, end of round, Martian Invader by 1, and then also get the neutrinos. New ally is Irma. Starting spot 2, way over there, that might not be happening. Eclipse. Genghis Frog, come on, henchman. Okay, Martian Invader, not quite. Don't think we want to block with jump scare, so sure, we'll take it to the face. It's gonna be 3, down to 1. Then going to be going here, I guess. We did lose combat, so we can move. We'll move here. Then that's it for Martian. No sidekicks on the board. Put a guy out. Neutrinos. Invasion Wave 2. We'll discard fresh materials from Dr. West to stop that because we don't have any sidekicks on the board, opposing sidekicks on the board, so it won't matter. Player 1, we're gonna maneuver. And we're gonna jump scare. No occupied field, so it's just going to be a 3, so 6 to 3, 3 damage, down to 10 for Martian. And no one is in Martian zone, so no damage there. Dr. West will maneuver. And maneuver again. No sidekicks currently, so we'll boost with that to hopefully save that ghost face if Martian goes early next round. Alright, and then friends, we were not getting that, but we kind of knew that was going to be the case. Hopefully whatever new henchman gets added gets cancelled out by Genghis Frog. Alright, Martian advanced by 1. We do not get Irma. New ally is Cry. That'd be nice just to get some damage at the end. We add the henchman and then reshuffle. We're still not advancing from this Eclipse, which is good. I do think we want to get Cry. We are pretty close to 2 now. We might be able to get over there. We're also getting close to the Deception for Martian, so we're going to add a dude there. Oh, and don't forget the Eclipse, of course. Ghostface. I was kind of hoping that Martian would go first. Let's play rule number 1, no hooking up. You heard that, Martian, no hooking up. Draw a card and then stays in play until triggers, which is at the end of an opponent's turn. So in this case, Martian, if an opposing hero is adjacent to any fighter, deal 1 damage to one or both of them. So as long as Martian ends adjacent to one of our characters, then it'll take 1 damage. And then I will maneuver. Let's actually back this guy up now. Or boost. And that'll be that. You know what, let's get wacky with it. Your arc is derivative. This is West's crazy card. Probably doesn't really work in Adventures, but we're trying it. Alright, so this is going to be 3 to 2. So So 1 damage to Martian. Down to 9. Then Martian is going to go here. And then we're going to steal the card. And now we can use one of these effects on our future Your Work is Derivative. I think as long as we're not taking out Deception, that makes sense. And we know where Deception is. Speaking of, it is the next card. So, because we get an undefended attack here effectively, full knowledge of the craft. For those paying attention, that is the second Buffy set card in Dr. West's deck, and I think they're utilized very well. Love to see it. That and Killer of the Dead are the two, of course. 4 damage. Down to 5. You know what, let's get back to Your Work is Derivative and hope the next symbol is this one that would let us actually use the Martian symbols against them. And then this will stay to go on the bottom of the deck after the shuffle. That's it for Dr. West. Invasion 2. Discard Be Right Back, which we want on top of the discard anyway. Martian Invader. We'll faint. Okay, we take 2 and it does not warp away. Neutrinos. Ooh, Triceratons. Really wish these were taking each other out, but these are going to happen first, so we'll... Alright, then end of round. Martian Invader advances by 1. Hey, it is this one, so we can use that +2 now. These cancel each other out. We get Karai. Next ally is Muckman and Joe Eyeball. We reshuffle. We really want Martian to go before Ghostface now because we can't as easily jump scare while keeping this on top because we'd have to boost and get rid of that on as the top card. Eclipse. Martian, nice. Go here. Take. Youch, that's a 4. Down to 1. Because we lost that combat, we'll move this Ghostface up a little closer. Good to me. Neutrinos, draw a card. Invasion Wave 2. We could let that happen. Oh wait, actually no. Because if the other invasion wave comes up, then that would be bad news. Dr. West. Let's maneuver. Let's maneuver again. Let's go here. Invasion Wave 1, glad we didn't do that. Karai, nothing currently. Triceratons. They are going to take each other out at least. Friends in Odd Places and Ghostface. Well, let's maneuver. Because we're able to move this one up closer, we don't have to worry about boosting, so we can still get that jump scare with Be Right Back online. It's going to be an 8 value jump scare. Blocks with a 2, that's not enough, and does not do the ignore since that symbol's not online, plus there's not an occupied field, so that's going to be 6 damage to Martian, down to 0, and that will be Martian Invader defeated. Yeah, that one was definitely a lot closer. Honestly, the one shot on Leatherhead was a huge help, of course, but the Eclipse with Martian seems quite nasty. Honestly, if Leather had stuck around for a little bit longer, we would have started really worrying about the advancement there. But yeah, so that was Ghostface and Dr. Herbert West. We are halfway through now, on to the TMNT villains. Alright, getting into game 3 here. It's going to be Krang alongside Ant Queen and Jersey Devil versus Ginger from Ginger Snaps and Leatherface. Our amazing events are: in a frenzy, if a minion defends and wins combat, deal 1 damage to the attacker. Their wounds close whenever you shuffle an enemy's deck, it recovers 1 health. And they are rooted to the earth. Player effects cannot cause an enemy to leave its space. Our first ally is Karai. Needs to be on starting space 2. And yeah, we are going to hop right into it. I think Ginger is my favorite hack/repeat fighter. So, looking forward to this one. I think Krang is one of the more difficult scenarios. And we do have 2 of the most threatening minions from Tales to Amaze here, so excited to see how this plays out. We have Leatherface, represented by Yanenga here. He has 16 HP, so we'll just have to keep in mind that he has 1 more than what the dial is showing at the moment, but he has the sidekicks with 2 health, so I felt like the archers were easiest way to represent that. I have 1 stand-in token here because there are 3 Sawyers, but, you know, it works just fine. Alright. Triceratons is going to move Krang over here. And then we got the trap going off. Energy loop. This one will activate machines in Dimension X, but they're all already active from the start of the game, so that will not matter. Ant Queen. Going to go here and attack Leatherface. We're just going to take it. She can't be stopped. 3 damage to Leatherface, going down to 13. And Ant Queen did not lose, so will not advance threat. Which is good, because Krang already advances it pretty quick based on our previous play of him. Alright, Leatherface is up. The ability is, if the opponent has 1 or less cards in hand, Leatherface may boost his attack when he plays his card. Play the boost card face down. I think the way that we're going to do that is he can do it if the enemy's deck has 1 card left, essentially, because they don't have a hand, obviously. Their hand technically is always at 0 cards, I suppose. Or maybe 1, because the top card of their deck is considered their hand for like discard effects and whatnot. But I don't know, being able to boost every single attack with Leatherface seems a little bit OP in Adventures. Let's just go with if they only have 1 card left in deck, so basically if Deception is their bottom card. This would have been really good on the previous one, where Deception always went to the bottom of the deck. Let's do that for now, because I think Leatherface is fine without that effect. Like, I've played Leatherface before and gone against him, and he can still do really nasty stuff even if he isn't getting his ability off, so we'll do what seems to be the more balanced thing for now. And maybe in future, if we play these against Adventures again, we can try the wackiness. Let's play Overpower, Leatherface attacking Ant Queen. It's going to be, she can't be stopped. Fortunately, because our 3 is higher than her 1, we do cancel her effects. So 2 damage to Ant Queen, down to 8. And then she does not get to advance the threat. We do gain an action. Then for our second action of 3, we will maneuver. Overpower again. Not going to be any damage. Cancel doesn't matter either. But we will gain an action. And we will go ahead and Ravenous Abduction. Move Ant Queen up to 2, which is going to stay there, and then 1 damage for each Sawyer adjacent, so that's going to be 3. Down to 5 for Ant Queen. And then that'll be that. Jersey Devil. Also, I did forget In a Frenzy, so Leatherface will take 1 from that, since Ant Queen 1 on defense. Oh, I suppose Ravenous Abduction also would not have been able to move Ant Queen, so we did have to set it up that way. Alright, and then Jersey Devil go here and attack Bridget. A block with Don't Ever Touch My Sister. We have Forked Tail Whip. We are going to swap. And then Ginger will take one. Oh, I did not have the health dials out yet for them. It's probably important. Down to 19. Does have a lot of health, so not too bad there. And then after combat, if Ginger is defending, which she has, deal 2 damage to adjacent opposing fighters. So Jersey Devil will take 2. Down to 8. Granitor, villain recovers 1 health but has not been damaged. Friends in Odd Places. Ginger. The start of Ginger's turn, if she is not adjacent to Bridget, she gets to move up to 4 spaces and then you deal a damage to her. However, she is adjacent to Bridget, so we will not be doing that. However, we will be attacking with Sisters in Arms. It's going to be a Forked Tail Whip, which does not cancel because we do not have another Sister in Arms in our discard already. So it's going to be 5 to 2, 3 damage to Jersey Devil, down to 5, and then we'll maneuver. That is Leatherface. We'll dump a Terrorize to deactivate this, because it is not as good when you cannot move the enemy with the effect. That is the case because of the current Mason event. And Krang is up. It's going to go for this Sawyer here. So we'll block with this. 1 damage to the Sawyer. Flip them over to that side. And then, unfortunately, if we didn't have this, we'd be able to push him away and he wouldn't get this effect, but we cannot, so he will discard a card, which is his one that boosts by the threat level. And then he will heal 1, which he hasn't taken any damage, and he'll advance the threat by that much since there's 1 adjacent hero or sidekick. But that is his 1 of out of the way, so that's fine. Alright, and then end of round, Ant Queen will increase by 1, does not shuffle Pheromone because we'd actually need to have this flipped over. Threat level is currently 1, so we will each lose a card. Oh, those are some good cards. We do get Karai. New ally is Mona Lisa. Player start in space 3. And then Krang is going to go 3, and then roll the die. Does not reactivate that machine, which is good for us. Triceratons, Crying back over here. Ant Queen is going to... Their face only has 2 cards, probably not going to block. Ant Queen does have a lot of those 1s that go to the threat value, but that's still 1 right now, so I could have a Sawyer eat 1 of those. If it's the other 4, it's a bit rough, but we got body blockers for a reason, right? We'll have this one get attacked. Well, it's Deception, so nothing there. Reshuffle. Ant Queen will recover a health, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Back to 6. Trap. Oh, advance the threat, okay. By 1. It's fine. Krang recovers 1, but he's full. Ginger. Just need to start dealing with these machines, really. Keep drawing from the wrong deck. I'm gonna ditch a Terrorize to deactivate this machine. I'm gonna play I Need More to gain 2 actions. Because my fighters are not adjacent, I take 1 on Ginger. Then I'm gonna attack Ant Queen with United Against Life. Hey, let's go. 3 damage to Ant Queen. Down to 3. Because Ginger took a damage this turn, we're gonna draw. Reshuffle here. And we have another action, so let's go ahead and attack again with Together Forever. Savage Swarm, so that's going to be 2 since threat value is 1 still. 1 for Ant Queen, and then they place Ginger adjacent to Bridget. And then they may swap spaces, which we will. I actually think I want to be there. Yeah, we want to be here, because then we can get to the other machine easier next turn. Alright, and then that's that. Krang. We only have 1 card in hand. I think I'll take this one, even though Krang's in Dimension X. Ginger has a lot of health. Okay, that's going to increase by 1 since he is in Dimension X, so 3 down to 15, and then 1 to both adjacent fighters. Jersey Devil. Go here. Attack this one, I guess. And no defense. Blood Curdling Scream. Don't want to discard from hand, so I guess top of the deck. Momentous Shift. So 4 damage. Sawyer goes down. Leatherface. Let's maneuver. Let's boost with Stitched Together. Discard Terrorize to deactivate this. And then attack Ant Queen with Momentous Shift. And it is a Pheromone Frenzy. So 2 damage, takes out Ant Queen. Then Cry, which will do 1 to Krang. Just gonna heal it back though, so not a huge deal. Ant Queen is dead. Really wanted to take her out before she could advance the threat, so. Krang does advance by 1. Rolls for his machines. Does get it back. Then Jersey Devil's not in anyone's zone. Oh, and Mona Lisa goes away because we did not get her. We get the top henchman. And then Irma is the new ally. Alright, Triceratons. He really likes those guys. Karai. That's really unfortunate that it's that order, because we don't get an extra damage. They are taking each other out though, which is something. Trap. Four. We cannot place on 4 because Krang is there and it is not in Dimension X, and no one takes any damage. 5 would have been rough. Granitor. Krang heals back that damage he took. Not a big surprise. Leatherface will maneuver. Then maneuver again. discard a Ravenous Abduction to... Actually, we don't need to do that this turn, because it's advancing no matter what. No one adjacent to Krang. Jersey Devil. We'll take it. And it's a hoax. Or deception. That's fine. Would have rather attacked into that, of course, but what you gonna do? Ginger is adjacent to Bridget, so will not be taking a damage. We'll maneuver. And maneuver. Krang. Tech and Leatherface, we don't really have any good blocks, so it's a 2. No further effects. Leatherface down to 10. Let's remove each other. We get Irma. New ally is Genghis Frog. Jersey Devil's still on the board, so that's fine. Threat level's still 1, so we discard 1. And then I forgot to recover 1 health for Jersey Devil when reshuffled with Deception. Krang will advance, expand Dimension X, reset back to here, roll the die. Not activate a machine. Alright. It's full health. Leatherface takes 1. Trap. No one is in Dimension X, so that roll doesn't technically matter. Ginger takes 1 because she's not adjacent to Bridget. We can move 4. We'll maneuver. I'll attack Jersey Devil with just 1 clean shot. Fork Tail Whip, we have not used another one of those, so it's going to be 3 to 2. Jersey Devil goes down to 5. Gain an action on our card, so let's attack again with Primal Vigor. Another Forked Tail Whip. Have not used one of those either, so we can boost this. We will. With Sister's Keeper, make it a 5, so 3 damage. Jersey Devil down to 2. And then we won, so we recover 2 to 15. That'll be Ginger's turn. Krang. I will block just a 3 for Ginger. Going to be just a 2, no damage there, but then 1 to Ginger and 1 to Leatherface after combat. Leatherface. Maneuver. Go here, discard Ravenous Abduction to deactivate the machine. Go there, and then Momentous into Jersey Devil. So we'll do from the top of deck, because I don't want to get rid of the card in hand. That's going to be a 2. So 5 to 3. It's just enough. Jersey Devil down. Jersey Devil dead. Then Irma, reveal the top card of an enemy's deck. You may discard it. Well, it's just Krang left, so we'll do that. Big Brain move. Do we want to get rid of that? It's not a good block, but we don't have many cards in hand for either. So if he goes before... Well, Ginger doesn't have any cards, so if he goes before Ginger, it's a problem. So I guess we will discard it. That's that. So we do get the ally since Bridget's up there. Ace Duck, oh boy, we really need him. We've been struggling on cards the whole game. Do one for Krang. Roll for the machines. Nope. That's a relief because I really don't want to be using more cards on those at the moment. Reshuffle everything. Okay. It was a little bit rocky, but as soon as we can start getting some card draw going with like Ace Duck, we should be in a better spot. Probably going to just be doing a couple of recovery turns right here. That's fine. Irma, well, we get a look at the top card. Deception, well, that's staying on top. Good to know about. Granitor, Krang's still full. This is kind of annoying, but at least it's a henchman out of the way, so we can maybe hold on to stuff like Ace Duck for longer. Krang is going to go and attack here, and obviously not blocking, because not only do we have no cards in hand, but we're also aware that it's deception. It's Leatherface. Let's maneuver. And maneuver again. Okay. Ginger will take one. Then we're just going to maneuver twice, most likely. Okay. Trap. 2 damage to each here in Dimension X, or 4 damage. And no one's in Dimension X. No one adjacent to Krang. Genghis Frog is going to take that guy out, so that's fine. Actually, this is going to clear. We're going to be out of henchmen, which is nice. Krang advances by 1. Rolls the die. Does get a machine back. And these cancel out. It's probably the smallest initiative deck I've seen in a bit. We do get Ace Duck. Mondo Gecko is the new ally. Trap. It would recover 4 health, but, well, would recover 1 health rather, because he's not in Dimension X, but he does not. Because he's full. Leatherface. Let's maneuver. Attack Krang with the Sawyer. It's going to be a 5 to a 2. No, sorry, a 5 to a 3, because we are in threat level 2 now. So 2 damage. Krang goes down to 19. And he does not get the other effect because he's not in Dimension X. And then that's it for our turn. Ginger takes 1. One maneuver. Boost with just 1 clean shot. We'll attack with Primal Vigor. a big brain move. We'll boost with Blood Bond to make it a 4, so 3 damage to Krang, down to 16. And then we recover 2 since we won combat. This also put us at 0 cards, so as soon as Ace Duck shows up, we are going to be able to refill our hand, which is nice. Krang. Let him go for Leatherface, I think, because Leatherface is just going to block with a 5. It's going to be a 3, so no damage, no extra effect. Ally, which we're not going to get this time around, unfortunately. But we have Ace Duck triggering here, so 3 cards for Ginger. Alright, and then end of round, we've got Krang advancing by 2. Does not get back a machine. And then we do lose Mondo Gecko, get a new henchman, and then Muckman and Joe Eyeball. This one we're going to want to get if possible. We were so close last time too, which is rough, but what you gonna do? Okay. Ace Duck. Leatherface can get 1 card, so that's good. Trap. It's honestly good because we might be sending Bridget into Dimension X. It doesn't matter the roll because we don't have anyone in there. Although once this advances, that's going to be tough to maintain. 1 damage to a sidekick. Let's do Bridget, I suppose. Leatherface. Don't have great things in hand right now, so I think we're still going to maneuver. Okay, that's a bit better. We're still setting up though, so let's go. And then we'll maneuver again. Alright. Ginger. Oh, we have to take 1, so we might as well get the movement. Let's go there actually. With Ginger, we take 1. Then I will maneuver, go here. Just keep Bridget over here, I guess. We'll discard Desperate Measures because it's not really useful against these enemies. Deactivate this machine. And then we'll maneuver again. I do think I want them adjacent because I don't think I need the extra movement next round, and I'd rather not keep taking damage unnecessarily. And then Krang is up, going to attack Leatherface. We'll block with the Saw His Family. Okay, so no damage. We're going to get back a defeated Sawyer. Let's not put it next to Krang because then we would give him extra healing. And then he is going to heal 1 and advance by 1. And then that is going to be it. And then end of round, we are going to get Muckman and Joe Eyeball. Neutrinos is the last one. Definitely want to get them, of course. And then Krang will advance by 1. Roll the die. No machine. So we don't have to clear next turn to stop the advancing, which is good. We're getting a little bit better on cards now, but I'd still like to use them and not just be ditching cards. Leatherface. This attack was stitched together. My body, it's going to be a 3, and then we're going to take his card, kind of like we did last game. Put that there, actually. And we can boost with that at some point. Just maneuvers, but still. Then we're going to play Furious Seal. We did lose a combat, so we gained 2 actions. So we're back to 2 actions. Then we'll maneuver. I'll attack with Killing Floor. I was hoping to hit the big brain. Or Deception, that would have been fine too. So cancel, no effects. Krang. Gonna smack that Sawyer. Goodbye. Ace Duck is going to give a draw to Leatherface. No, Ace and Duck, don't go. And we'll do 1 to this square here. Ginger, little maneuver. Attack with Sisters in Arms. Did Deception, 5 damage to Krang, down to 12. Krang heals for 1, back to 13. Trap, last trap. No one's in Dimension X. Traps will reshuffle. Lookman and Joe Eyeball. Let's get back a Jaws the Bite. Ginger. Alright, Krang is going to advance by 1. These 2 are going to take each other out. We get neutrinos. That's the last ally, so not sure. I guess we just don't have to worry about it anymore. It's the first time I've actually run out of allies. Lookman and Joe Eyeball, let's get back as Sisters in Arms. Neutrinos. Ginger's up. Staring Strike. It's going to be a 4 to a 3, so 1 damage to Krang. And then we won combat, so we draw 2. Play I need more to gain 2 actions. We have 2 actions still. Daring Strike again. Another damage, draw 2. Krang down to 11. Let's Terrorize. That's a cancel, so we still do 1. We do not get to move. We wanted to be able to move Krang, but I wanted to move Ginger away. Oh well. Okay, still a good turn. Krang is up. Guess we'll have him attack Ginger. She'll block with that. 3 to 3. No damage, but also no draw. It's fine, he doesn't activate a machine from the card effect, which is good. Leatherface, well maneuver. We'll boost with a Pin the Prey. Well, Furious Seal next to him. And Chainsaw Massacre into a Deception. 5 damage down to 5. He's going to heal 1 when he reshuffles, so I'll just do that now to 6. The swap we cannot do even if we wanted to because of the rooted, but we would not be getting any benefit out of the extra damage since there's no other enemies nearby anyway. Trap. There are no heroes in Dimension X, so no effect. And then Krang will advance and expand Dimension X. Go for machine. Still no. We were set up to remove it, so would have been fine either way. And then I don't know, the friends in odd places, there's no revealed allies. Let me see if the book says anything. It doesn't say. So I'm just gonna take it out since we're out of allies. We could put henchmen in. You know what? We want the challenge, so I guess we'll just add a henchman. I could see you going either way. I don't think it really matters too much, but this makes it a little bit more challenging. Also puts our allies in some danger, which is adds to the tension. Each draw a card. We are almost out of deck for both fighters, so I need to take out Krang soon. Player 2, that's going to be Leatherface. Unfortunately, do not have any good attacks for him at the moment. With that maneuver, let's finally boost with this Krang card. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess we'll go here with that guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll attack Krang. Slaughterhouse. Unfortunately, it's a 4/4, so no damage, and no draw, and no action gain. But at least we got a big block out of the way. Trap. Oh, guess we don't want him in there yet. One day. Okay, this is damage. Oh, let's go. Krang. We'll have Krang attack Bridget. Big brain move 3 to 3. And we'll place Ginger and swap the 2 of them. Luckman and Joe Eyeball, what do we want to get back? Honestly, just a 5 seems good. Ginger does not take damage. Let's maneuver because I do not want them adjacent. Play Bloodlust, which is her double attack. Big brain move. It's going to be 1 damage from the first attack. And then a 6 coming at Krang's face. Well, that'll do it. Krang down to 0. And Ginger takes 2 from that after combat. And that will be Krang down. Yeah, we didn't get to do any of the absolutely crazy combo turns with Ginger this time around, because you're able to do stuff like I need more to gain actions, also potentially take damage to turn on effects like Desperate Measures. This is obviously better in player versus player. We only saw one of these late, so you can, like, if you do 2 of these in a turn, you can do some crazy stuff. Also, Sister's Keeper, we ended up boosting with it because it was better at the time. But you can recover a bunch of your health by doing that. We did get a turn where we did double Daring Strike. It only did 1 damage because we were only doing little chips over the blocks, but we got to draw 4 cards, so can't complain too much about that. But yeah, that is going to wrap it up here. And we have one more villain to take down to close out this hack/repeat Halloween extravaganza. Alright, and we're going to get started with the final game here against Shredder, who's joined by Rat King, Slash, and the Blob. Our amazing events are they have no weaknesses, deception cards have a value of 3 instead of 0. Paralyzed with Fear, if a minion attacks and wins combat, the defender discards the top card of their deck. And Vanquish All Evil, you must also defeat all minions to win the game. We'll be using the final 2 hack/repeat fighters that we have not seen in the previous games, which are Jason Voorhees, who is a solo fighter that has extra movement. Basically, when he maneuvers, if he does not share any zones with an opposing fighter, he can start his movement anywhere in his current zone. So for example, right now, if Jason were to maneuver, he could start here, he could start here, etc. So it gives him some extra mobility, which will actually be quite nice to help clear these foot soldiers. And then we've got the Blair Witch, who is a ranged fighter, and she gets to place down stickmen, which we're going to represent by InGen's traps here. And these have various effects. One of the other things that she has are these curses, which are kind of like ongoing schemes. You play them on an opponent, and then they give them debuffs. However, in this case, it's not going to do a ton against the enemies, at least a couple of them. However, some of them might still be useful because we are using the villain equals hero and minion equals sidekick for card effects. I am also using Yennefer's dial for her just because matches the health as well as kind of the color scheme with the purple. Also gives me an excuse to be able to use the golden Yennefer mini that I have. So definitely not a bad reason. And finally, this is a 3-player game, as you may have noticed. However, the last fighter is not going to be a hack/repeat fighter, but still one that fits quite thematically with our Halloween spooky extravaganza theme. And that is going to be Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield. This is a deck that's based around those 2 fighters from the Resident Evil 2 remake. And this was created by OncomingStorm. This was actually one of the decks that was in the playtesting guild way back when on the subreddit, and was one that I helped submit games for and give feedback on the deck. And I enjoyed it so much, and it was right around the time that I had gotten into the Resident Evil 2 remake, which quickly became my favorite of the Resident Evil games. And so I got this one printed out as well at some point. For the minis, we actually do have Leon and Claire minis from the Resident Evil 2 board game by Steamforge Games. So they're a little bit smaller in scale than the Unmatched minis, but not so much that it's going to be a problem. And then I'm using the Titania and Dagger dials for them, because of course Leon S. Kennedy is everyone's queen, and you can't tell me otherwise. Their ability is pretty cool. At the start of their turn, if they're not in the same zone, you can discard a card and then take the bottom card of your discard pile into your hand, and then you shuffle your discard pile. Thematically, it is their item box that they are kind of sharing stuff between each other, even when they're not in the same location. So yeah. That is what we are going to be hopping in with here, and looking forward to it. Oh, and something I should note is both Leon and Claire are considered heroes. They're not hero's sidekick. Triceratons. Alright, we are starting with one of the more annoying henchmen from my experience so far with the set. And Shredder's going to warp over there. Leon and Claire are up. Let's go ahead and maneuver. Go here with Leon, and we want to be somewhere in a different zone with Claire. Let's go there for now. And then let's smack Rat King with Leon and the chemical flamethrower. Got a rat problem. Alright, so it's going to be a 6 to a 2. It's going to be 4 damage to Rat King. Down to 6. And then we are going to have our effects canceled. Our after combat on this card is your opponent takes 1 less action next turn. The way that I would probably do this is basically whatever their next thing that they would do, they don't. So, for example, if Rat King started the turn and was here, then it would basically want to move and attack. It could move since it can get adjacent, but then it can't attack because it has 1 less action. If it was already adjacent, I say just want to get an attack, because it wouldn't try to move normally, and then it would try to attack, but it gets stopped. So that's how I would kind of interpret that. However, it's not going to matter here because this is canceling it. However, we are going to remove this card from the game. This is on a couple of the cards in the deck, and it's essentially just to make it so you can't abuse the heck out of being able to get back some of those strongest cards in the deck, because being able to get back a 6 that takes an action away from your opponent would be a little bit busted. So it is going to remove itself from the game, and that part of this card's effect cannot be canceled. So even though this was canceled, we are still removing this from the game. It did stop the action reduction, though. However, we did 4 damage to the Rat King, so cannot complain too much. Something of note is that originally that card didn't have that text on it, so if it did get canceled, you do, like, let's say they feint the flamethrower, they take 4 damage, and then they don't lose the action, but then it goes into your discard pile so you can recur it. And that felt just a little bit too strong, being able to do that, and so that was one of the feedback points I gave OncomingStorm, and that was something that they agreed on and eventually changed to make a little bit less powerful, but still a very good card, regardless, of course. Alright, player 2, that's going to be Jason. So if we maneuver, we can get a few places. We could go right between Slash and Blob. I kind of like that, just to keep the minions there so Blair Witch can clear a bunch of the foot soldiers, because I think that's going to be her turn. She's just clearing out all of those, let the other 2 kind of deal with the enemies, and then go from there. Claire will take Shredder, of course, when he goes. Yeah, I think I like that. Alright, let's go ahead and maneuver with Jason. We're going to use his ability and start our maneuver from this space, and then go here. And then who do I want to attack more? Probably Slash, because he builds up pretty quick with his Fury, so I don't think I want to let him get that going if I can avoid it. You know what? Let's just hit him with the 6. Why not? Alright, going it alone. It's going to be a 1 value block, so 5 damage to Slash. Down to 5. And opposing fighter has 0 move until my next turn is Jason, but not going to be relevant here because Slash would be staying where he is and fighting me anyway. Rat King going to attack Leon. Let's go ahead and regroup. I do love the art on this regroup card. More than a nibble. Alright, so it's going to be 2 damage to Leon. And then we're going to put a bunch of rat tokens down, which I don't love, but hey. That's kind of what the Rat King does. And then we're going to draw with Leon as well. And since Claire is a hero, we are going to put 1 down on hers as well. So the way that the rat tokens work is, while on them, heroes and sidekicks have -2 to their defense value. Don't love that's happening before Shredder, so yikes. Shredder is gonna put some dudes out. Just do like that. And Shredder is gonna go attack Claire. I think we're still gonna use this. Unfortunately, it is a 1 value cancel. I almost used it for Leon, but I was like, I kind of want to use it on Shredder instead. I apparently should have used it on Leon, because now we would have had a better situation. Oh boy. Alright, well, still glad we did it, because that'll be 2 damage to Claire. Because Shredder will not increase by the dudes in the burrow. That would have been a 6 otherwise. And then we will also not put another dude out. And then this will get removed from the game, just because having an infinitely recurrable cancel would be also too strong. Blob, gonna attack Jason. Jason will block with this. Okay, we did win the combat. Unfortunately, we're not missing any health, so that's not gonna matter, but we do draw, and no acid on the board yet, so no extra damage to anyone. slash. I'm just gonna take this one. It's gonna be a 3 down to 14 for Jason. Because there are no Fury cards in the discard yet. Friends in Odd Places. In order to get Mona Lisa, we do have to be in the spot that Blair Witch is in right now. Which, we'll see. Alright, we just have one more henchman. We don't know what it is, but none of them would be too bad right now. Blair Witch is up. We are going to be clearing... I think we're just going to completely clear this burrow. She does have 3 movements, so she is able to do that pretty well. We are going to put a stickman down on this spot because having them in as many zones as possible is preferable. We might let Mona Lisa go, honestly. I don't love it, but I don't know if I can clear out all the dudes otherwise. And I also kind of want to be in a spot where I can put a stickman in a new zone that there isn't currently one. And if I end here, I won't be able to. So let's maneuver. Then let's maneuver again. I'm going to boost with Curse of Shivering, because this one will not help us against the villain here, of course. Villain heals 1, but doesn't matter because he hasn't taken any damage. Rat goes in Rat King's space. Shredder advances by 2, since there's only 1 burrow. Foot soldiers in it. Blob puts an acid token down. Slash adds a fury to the top of his discard pile. We did not get the ally. Add a henchman. And we're good to go. New ally is Mondo Gecko. It's not worth blocking with the -2, so hopefully it's not too bad. Well, blocking would have been a disaster, so 2 damage down to 4. Oh, I forgot about this one. So, Jason lost at combat. And so did Leon. Blob. Again, with the -2, it's not really worth blocking, so... It's getting bigger, is going to be a 3, down to 11. Discard the card for the paralyzed. That's rough because that's a heal. And then puts one of these in each empty space adjacent to it. Shuffle the villain's discard pile into their deck. Leon and Claire. I'm not going to use the ability to get back regroup, so let's start with an attack on the Rat King. Okay, 3 damage. Down to 3. And then we're going to put a rat over here. And then if we won the combat, we place the bottom card of discard pile in hand, then shuffle the discard pile. So we get regroup back. We shuffle the discard pile, but it's only 1 card right now. And then this goes on top after. But now we can get back Will to Survive, which is a 4 on offense for Leon, or a 4 on defense for Claire. 2 otherwise. Then second action, we will maneuver. Clear here with Claire. We'll actually boost that with the shotgun and get Claire on the ally spot. And I think we still want Leon here. Block with escape, and let us move each of our fighters up to 2. Unless that happens. Okay, no damage though. And he didn't win, so he doesn't get to put us somewhere with the rat. Shredder is gonna put dudes in this burrow, but because we cleared that one, he's not gonna overflow. He would overflow to Manhattan, which is pretty dense with enemies right now, so he would not be able to clear those out very easily. Even though we have 4 heroes, we only have 3 players, so he only puts 3 down. Alright, and then Blair Witch is up. I'm gonna put a stickman here just so we can add an extra zone that we have them in. They are ranged, so we could attack Slash. Attack Slash with Terrorize. Maneuver. Maneuver. It's a real nasty effect, but I think it actually works out pretty well for us here because now we can use ability with Leon and Claire if we want. Back a will to survive. Let's maneuver. Yeah, look, Rat King, I can do it too. One to Shredder. Maneuver. Maneuver. Boost. 6-3. That is enough. Down goes Rat King. Out of acid. Get back at Desperate Measures. Pack Blob with Claire. Maneuver. No one next to acid. Maneuver. Maneuver. Jason. Attack Blob. It's 3. Discarding Deception, which will make us a 5, so 2 damage to Blob. He'll reshuffle when he puts that into his discard pile. Maneuver. We'll boost with Trophy. Clear that. Jason draws 2. Oh, and he took 1 from the acid. I'm go for Claire. We win combat, but Jason's taken 3. Ouch. Add that to hand. Shuffle. Oh, it's on bottom again. Well, we do have 2, so it's not too unlikely to happen, but still. Maneuver. In the Blob. 1 from the combat, 2 from the after combat. No movement. Shredder's full. Discard that to get back Desperate Measures. Attack Blob with Glare. Two damage. No one in range to be hit. Get back Escape and Shuffle. Will to Survive on the bottom. It's not a bad one. Maneuver. Actually, I'm going to boost with that because we can get it back several different ways. And we'll go. So we can get the ally. Okay. Cancel is cancel. Take that, Shredder. Maneuver. Attack Blob. 1 from the after combat. Blob down. Discard to hand size. No one is there. Sucks to lose neutrinos, but nothing we could do about it. Three to 4, no damage. Maneuver. Boost. Attack Shredder. Okay, 2 damage since he does not ignore. Down to 26. And now, since he doesn't have a cancel, I didn't want to use this when he still had a cancel in rotation, but now it is the witching hour. Alright, so ours is going to be an 8, I believe, because we have stickmen in orange, white, yellow, green. This one doubles up, unfortunately. Blue, purple, and black. So 7 zones, making this an 8 to his 2, 6 damage. down to 20. And then he is going to get another turn, but that's fine. Jason will draw 2. Discard this to get back full to survive. Claire's not in much danger, so don't mind losing her heal. Also, this reshuffles this. We want to try to get the flamethrower on bottom so we can use that at some point. Or desperate measures. That's also a good one to have on bottom. Well, it's the heal we just put there. That's okay. We'll maneuver. We'll boost with escape. So we can clear both of those. And we'll attack with Will It Survive. There's only going to be 1 damage because of they have no weaknesses. Down to 19. It's actually the first deception I think we've seen actually block. We saw it boosted with blob, but actually I just realized we'd want to be there for the allies, so I'm just going to move there before the turn's done. Would have had enough movement to get there, of course. Look at the top card. It's the cancel, which we'll ignore right now too, but it just means we can take it and not have any problems. We could also cancel it ourselves, but I think we can take some damage. We'll have Blair Witch take this one. Not block. 2 damage. Thank you, Irma, for the knowledge. Alright. We do get Muckman and Joe Eyeball. This is actually really fun with Leon and Claire too, because it shuffles stuff up. Shredder advances by 3. That's that. Speaking of, it's a little weird, but I actually think we're going to reshuffle Regroup because that takes it out of the rotation. We'd rather have a lot of these other things. Irma. It's going to be a Blades all over. Good to know about. Do we want to discard that now? I don't think that one's that big of a deal. Player 2. Jason. Attack Shredder with Brutality. He blocks with the Blades, of course. Takes 1. And then he's going to deploy 1 Foot Soldier here. Then all 3 of these are going to take a damage, and then he'll take an extra 1 from that Brutality effect. Actually, Leon's not adjacent, never mind. Attack him again. Another Blades. Boost of 1, so we do 1 damage. And then 1 more to each of them. Shredder heals 1 to 17. Jason draws 2. There was a Ghostface card mixed in there, whoops. Let's maneuver. Maneuver. Boost. Attack Blair Witch. She'll cancel. Oh yeah, that would have been a big hit. Blair Witch. Let's Curse Shredder. He now has -1 to his defense. It's going to be a 2 to an 8. 6 to Shredder. Down to 11. Maneuver. Attack Shredder. Move this Stickman. Remove this Stickman. Make it a 5 to 2, 3 damage. Down to 8. Shuffle this back so we got the flamethrower on the bottom. He's really spreading the dudes around, but we're going to advance this round anyway, unless we literally cleared everything, which is not happening, and we're just trying to kill him. Alright, Jason. Let's maneuver. Because of our ability, start here, and we'll boost. Attack Shredder. The 5. This is going to be a 5 that goes down to a 4 because of the curse. Takes 1 damage down to 7. Ditch that, get back the flamethrower. Maneuver. Currently a 50-50 of deception or his cancel, which would also be an ignore right now. If it was just a cancel, I wouldn't mind, but I don't want to throw 6 at him if he's going to ignore it. Let's boost with the flamethrower. And then maneuver. We'll boost with meet you at the station. And 1 there. I think because it could be the cancel, we're just going to take it, and we'll have Jason take it. Yep, it is the cancel. The other option was deception, which would have been 3 damage, but that's still fine. Cry will trigger 1 damage to Shredder down to 6. And then Irma. Oh, look. It's Deception. I think we're not going to discard that even though it's a 3. Thanks, Irma. Appreciate it. Alright, we should be able to knock him out. We do advance. Manhattan. This is the first time I've actually had entrenched dudes. Brooklyn is the new. That's full, so that overflows to the next highest numbered, I believe. Which actually means we're overflowing into the Bronx. Actually, sorry. Manhattan first, and then into the Bronx. Okay, that's rough. We also lose him and get a henchman. But the ally itself wouldn't have been doing anything. Okay. The city is in flames, but I think we're okay. That's an annoying one. Blair Witch will discard that. Man, enjoyable. Yeah, we'll put Desperate Measures on the bottom by shuffling this in. I do really like that Leon and Claire's ability makes this guy even better, because not only do you get something back, but you immediately get value by having the option to change your bottom card, which in this case is very useful. Hey, okay, we definitely want that back. Let's ditch Escape, get back Desperate Measures. Shuffle the discard. It's going to be Meet You at the Station, not the most useful here, but that's fine. So I've had this Weapons Locker keycard for a bit. Obviously getting back Desperate Measures is a solid use of it. At this point, getting back the Flamethrower is logical, but I won't be able to attack with it this turn, so I actually think I'm just going to attack with Claire. She has a couple good options. So we know it's going to be Deception, which is a 2 because of the curse. So I guess we'll just do Desperate Measures into a 2-value Deception. 2 damage to Shredder. Down to 4. We get back the bottom card. And shuffle. I think there's a couple times that I might have shuffled like this back in. Doesn't happen till after. Hey, Flamethrower on bottom. That's great to see. Then Shredder is going to shuffle. And sure, we'll smack him with This Ends Now, which is our ambush, which is a 3-value. Alright, that's going to be a 1, because he's got one guy in there, but then he has the curse, so his block is a 1. We're going to have a 5, so 4 damage. Hey, and that'll do it. Claire gets the finishing blow with This Ends Now. How fitting. Alright, and that is going to wrap us up for the Unmatched Adventures Hack/Repeat Halloween Extravaganza. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, shout out to Cardboard Hustle and Hubaris for making the Hack/Repeat decks. I always have a ton of fun with them, so every time this time of year, I do enjoy busting them out and playing them. We've done lots of stuff where the decks against each other in past years. There's also some maps that they made, which obviously didn't do this time because we were doing adventures, but there's some great maps with some fun mechanics that they've also released for each of the volumes. The volume 3 that I do not have printed out yet are 2 large fighters, so seeing more stuff with large fighters is always fun. But yeah, we've done 2v2s, we've done free-for-alls, we did a full send Friday, I've done other adventure streams, so I want to keep the tradition going each October if I can, because all these fighters are a lot of fun. Of course, shout out as well to OncomingStorm for the Leon and Claire deck. Absolutely love RE2 Remake, and the deck is a lot of fun to play. I think this is the first time I was bringing it into Adventures, and it played pretty well, so definitely pleased with that performance. And yeah, we got to see some more challenging setups for each of the villains with the randomized events. I definitely plan to do more with Krang and Shredder, adding amazing events. I still have to do the Shredder and Krang hero decks against the opposing villain as well. And we just have a lot of new adventure stuff to try out, so definitely stay tuned for more. Probably won't have a new video as soon as these have been coming out. I do have PAX Unplugged coming up, so I will be busy with that, so I might not have as much time to edit in the weeks leading up to it since I have to get some other stuff done. But I might still try to squeeze in a stream on my Twitch channel, link in the description below, since those don't take as long as having to edit these YouTube videos with all of the extra combat stuff and whatnot. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a good rest of the day wherever you are. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.